to be a little different today, so hopefully this will all work out. I am going to be making cheeseburger soup. I don't know about you guys, but being in fat burn on the 5-in-1 program, I get cold, I get chilly, and right now with the way the weather is outside today here in North Carolina, it was rainy last night and it's chilly today, so I decided I wanted something to warm my soul. So I'm doing cheeseburger soup. So here's the deal. We're gonna put all this together. This creates 4 servings. I just showed you the ingredients. We're gonna put everything in the pot and get started. And hopefully here in just a little bit, we're gonna have some wonderful soup. It's gonna warm our hearts, warm our souls, and be healthy. So stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to chop up this onion. Right now I'm pulling off the outer paper rim. You know how much fun that can be. But I am going to, here we go. And a little trick, something that my chef friend Tracy taught me was really take that outer rim of the onion off. It's really hard and crunchy and nobody wanted to eat it anyway. So I'm going to chop up some onion here. I love onion. We only need about a 1/4 cup of onion. So let me see how we're doing here. On onion, I have a feeling we're probably pretty close. I love big onions. Can you tell? Yeah, I think we've got plenty of onion here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's our 1/4 cup of onion. And if you all remember from the other day, I'll wrap this up later. I was telling you about the freezer bag full of the dirty bag, as we call it. Here's my dirty bag. I'm going to throw these onions in there. Nothing goes to waste at all. It's perfect because, as a matter of fact, I probably should have used this for my broth today, but I'm not. I'm following the directions and it says chicken broth, not veggie. So I'm going to put this back in here. You see the peppers that I used the other day from the other recipe, and we're going to move on to the next thing. It is time to dice up our celery. We need 3/4 cups of celery for this particular creation. This is what I like about our program is also with the lean and green, all we have to do is simply follow the directions, which, let's just be honest. We all need to follow the directions when we're cooking because, you know, it's all just a bunch of science, basically. So we have to follow that anyway. But the cool part about the program is there is this wonderful, let's see, I'll make sure, okay, I got some more room. You know, it's wonderful because these recipes are created by the, God, what's the name of that group? Some food institute, I can never remember. They're super easy, they're super tasty. I think that's the one thing that really gets me going about this whole thing. And also, just as an FYI, some of you are going, he must really enjoy cooking, or he must have always cooked or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you that's a resounding no. I haven't always cooked. So yeah, don't get that twisted because that's not always the case. I will tell you that when I was trying to get healthy back before 2020, I had started getting the boxed meals that are delivered to your door. I'm not going to specifically name any company. However, this apron would not be the color that they would have chosen. And don't get me wrong, those meals are very tasty. They were, I would say, always easy, because sometimes, I mean, every time I turned around, I was mincing garlic for days, but, you know, they were good. They weren't, I don't necessarily say they were easy. They're not as easy as what we're doing here, to be really honest with you. These meals are just stupid easy. But anyway, so what I love about our foods are that we get to have with our lean and green meals are they're easy, they're fast. I mean, I'm doing this all in real time. I'm not speeding anything up. This is the time that it's taken me to cut and prep and get everything ready for the soup. The only thing you won't see is probably the cook time of the actual soup, because it's probably going to set a little bit before I have it, so it can, you know, marinate all the flavors and stuff. But beyond that, this is real time. I'm not speeding it up. I'm not slowing it down. I'm not leaving anything out other than, ooh, I washed the celery. Big freaking deal. However, you're seeing it all from start to finish. So, time to move on to the next bit. So what I'm going to do now is I have some lean ground beef here, and I am going to turn the stove on. I'm going to actually put this in the soup pot here, and I'm going to brown the meat, and then I'm going to add in the onion and the celery. I'm also going to obviously add in some salt and pepper, light on the salt. Y'all know me, heavy on the pepper. So that's what's going to happen next. Let me take this out of the way. Okay, so we'll let this get warmed up here so I can drop in the meat. Now I am actually going to add a little bit of garlic powder in as well. Not salt, garlic salt, but garlic powder, because I do like a little bit of that. And yeah, so let's let this get started to warm up. And let's see, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so I'm going to remove the heat and do all the fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to let this, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic powder, not salt. The thing with garlic salt is obviously in the name. Salt, 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 salt. And on this program, we really try to limit your salt because obviously your body will retain water when there's salt. So we try to really keep that at a minimum. I know for those of you who are very strict lean and green followers, and you have your notebook out, you know, and you follow it to a T, you're going to be like, well, it says there you can only have a quarter teaspoon of this or a quarter teaspoon of that in regards to dry herbs. Dry herbs didn't get you fat. I'm going to say that one more time again for the people in the back. Dry herbs didn't get you fat. What got you fat was all the stuff you put the dried herbs on. Okay? So, I do not, I'm a coach, and as a coach, I do not tell any of my clients, oh, you can't eat those dried herbs, you're going to get fat. I never tell them that because I know the truth. And something else I think is kind of funny, I'm going to say this on this video, I'm sure it'll get some interesting comments, is that a lot of people will be just like, I can't eat all that food. Oh dear Lord, that's just too much food. Oh, guess what? You ate more than that before the program. Now you're just being told you gotta eat it, and you don't like it. But before, you were shoving that shit in your face faster than all tomorrow, and now, when you're being told you have to eat X amount of food, you're like, oh, I just can't do it. It's like when you were a little kid, and you remember, like when you didn't like, maybe somebody didn't like carrots, or in my case when I was little, I wasn't a big broccoli fan, hated cauliflower, that kind of thing, and I would be sitting at the table and not wanting to eat it at all, and it felt like, because I was being told I had to eat it, it was like, oh, if I eat one more bite, I'm going to blow up, and I'm going to get sick, or whatever. Well, guess what? It's because I was being told I had to eat it. It had nothing to do with the fact that my stomach was still open, because, you know, if the dessert came out, always room for dessert, right? Well, that's exactly what happened. I had room for dessert, but I wasn't eating the food that I needed to eat. And that's the same with our Lean and Green program. I'm going to jump off the soapbox in just about 2 seconds. But eat what you're supposed to eat. Eat the feelings that you have and eat your Lean and Green meal and sit down and shut up. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. Okay, so I am saying, sorry, I'm off my soapbox. So now what I'm doing here is I am browning my lean ground beef. If it's green beef, we might have another problem we need to discuss, which would be some sort of horrible disease that you probably can get from green beef. Mad cow, I guess you, anyway, we won't get into it. And it's not like green eggs and ham. I am not Sam and so forth. But anyway, so I've got to get this browned up, and as soon as I get this browned up, I'm dropping in the onions and the celery, and it says here saute until tender. So I've got to get the beef going first and get it all squared away, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna put you on hold for a minute, and we'll be right back. So we're still going. For those of you who are keeping track of the time, that was basically about 1.5 to 2 minute break there. I was putting away some items that we no longer needed out on the counter, because that's just how I work. Okay, we're almost ready with the beef here to drop in the onion and the celery. Now, so once again, it's about 1/4 cup of onion and 3/4 cups of celery. Also, this is 1 pound of lean ground beef, 90% lean ground beef. Okay, so now I'm going to take my onion, throw that in the pot, and I'm also going to take the celery and throw that in the pot. Okay, and I'm going to let this start to cook, and we will be right back once again. Okay, so this is doing its thing. Just waiting for the onion and the celery to get tender. So obviously this is a very meat-forward dish. I'm going to say probably if you were vegetarian, you could use some sort of, you could use tofu, tofu crumbles, sausage crumbles, something of that nature to mimic what I've got going on here with the ground beef. I think that would be an option. And then of course, instead of using chicken broth here in just a moment, you could always use vegetable broth. So this meal could easily be made into more of a vegetarian friendly dish, is what I guess I'm trying to get at. And probably you could even make it you could almost bring this bad boy to vegan, to be quite honest. Just from what I'm calculating in my head right now. So I'm going to let this sit for just a minute while it's doing its thing, because I'm going to get measured out here. I need 3 cups of low sodium broth, chicken broth. So instead of dirtying up another set of cups, I am going to just use these. So there's 2. Let me get the other one out of the fridge. Okay, so that's 3. So that's the 3 cups of broth that will be going in here in just a moment. In the meantime, we're still getting these veggies and the meat here tender. So what's going to happen here in just a moment, we're going to stir in the tomatoes, that's a 28 ounce can, so I'm only going to use half. Obviously, half of 28 is 14. So I'm going to use half of that can, so that'll be 14 ounces, well 14 and a half ounces of tomatoes, 3 cups of our broth, and then I'm going to add some Worcestershire and some parsley into the mix, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Now I'm going to have to step through the 20-minute simmer. Yeah, y'all, I won't do that to y'all. I will be nice. Let's see. I think we're getting close to being right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put in the broth. So there's 1 cup, and now we've got cup number 3. There's that. Okay, I need to go here and take out half of this can because it is a 28-ounce can. Okay, so I've just dropped that in. And now to put in some dried parsley. Once again, notice I'm not really giving a flying flip that I put in more than the recipe calls for in this regard, because I do not count my condiments in that way, because you did not get that from having too much dried herbs. Okay, so Worcestershire, is 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. So let me get some Worcestershire going on here. Okay, we have our 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. I've already put salt and pepper in here, so I'm not going to add any additional salt and pepper. I am going to give this a little bit of a stir so that we can see all the pretty. And so now I'm going to reduce the heat here in just a second, and then I'm going to let this simmer for 20 minutes, okay? So let me reduce the heat, and we'll be right back. Okay, you all might think I'm just a tad bit crazy, but I am literally going to measure out, because a lot of this is about measuring how much an ounce of cheese is. I'm trying to do it with 2 hands and making a mess at it, but this meal calls for an ounce of cheese. So there's at least almost an ounce. Oops, sorry. Looking close. There it is. So if you ever wondered what an ounce of cheese looks like, there it is. So if you have one of these little guys, it's an ounce of cheese or 4 tablespoons. So there you go. There's your answer for the day. Okay, folks, so our timer is just about to go off. And so I'm gonna see, perfect timing. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a little stir real quick. Okay, oh yeah, that's looking, oh God, it smells so good. Okay, so now what we have to do is add 7 cups of spinach. So this is 4 here. And now I need to open the spinach container here and put in the other. Now let me just say something here. You can weigh this out. Obviously, you can use the scale, which we just used for the cheese, and weigh out the spinach. And quite honestly, if you're looking at this, you're already going, he's got more spinach in there than he did in the other one. I'm just gonna throw this in. Here's the thing. Spinach is also one of those things. We did not get fat from eating too much spinach. That was not the problem. It was what was in the spinach. So I'm going to put this in. So really, I put about 8 cups of spinach in here. It will not affect anything. It will not throw you out of fat burn. Spinach is one of those things, just like kale, some of your lettuce, that kind of stuff. It's not going to throw you out of fat burn just because you had more than what it calls for in the book. You're going to be okay. You did not get fat from eating too much spinach. I think everybody's got that message now, right? We all know what caused us to get fat, and it's not the stuff that's in this right here. Because this is a really clean soup. Because when you really think about it, it is ground beef that's lean. You've got diced tomatoes, spinach, celery, some onion, and then the rest is dry seasoning, and you've got chicken broth. That's it. And what I can tell you is it's a really hearty looking soup, which I absolutely adore. I love a hearty soup. So I'm going to let this sit here for about 1 to 3 minutes is how long it needs to go. Meantime, I'm going to put this back in my fridge because I like to clean up as I go along. I do not like a bunch of crap out and about. So remember, I've got my 1 ounce of cheese here ready to top off my meal. Now, something to keep in mind, this makes 4 servings. Now, I'm looking at this, I'm going to guess that it's, you know, there's no way to weigh this, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to look at it and go, okay, how much is a serving? Well, I'm going to fill my bowl. That's going to be my serving. It gets tricky sometimes with these soups and such from the program because there's so much other stuff in there, you really can't weigh it. The only other way we could have done this, which would have been a bitch to do, is to brown the meat, put over a portion size so you knew exactly how much a portion size is, and then do all the other stuff. That ain't gonna happen. So this is one of those, do your best to get the correct amount. Looking at this, I can about guess that probably that bowl is gonna be the correct amount for a serving. And luckily, since more than likely I am the only person who'll be eating this in the house, guess what? I have 3 more lean and green meals ready to go that I don't have to think about. And be quite honest with you, right now, with the way the economy is and the cost of things, guess what? I have 3 meals set to go. No excuses. I have 3 days of food today and 2 more days, or 3 more days, excuse me, for a total of 4 days. See what I'm getting at? So if you're worried about like, oh my God, this costs this and this costs that, get over it, because guess what? This is 4 freaking meals, people. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. Okay? You're saving money. And plus, I'm not gonna have a ton of doctor bills because of all the work that I've been doing and still do with my weight. I'm not gonna have a crap ton of doctor bills because I am getting healthy and staying healthy. That's important. It's a mindset shift, folks. Because if you think of this whole program, the lean and green part and the 5-in-1, if you think of it as a diet, it's going to be a diet. You know why? Because it's not going to work. Mindset shifts and lifestyle changes, they work. Hear me? That's what works. Okay. So this has been cooking for long enough. I'm going to go throw this over here. I don't need to do that anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, turn the heat off because nobody else is eating this but me right now. So I'm going to dollop in what I see as a true serving, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I'm almost there. Okay, I'm gonna get me a little bit of broth. So I like to have some broth up in here. Okay. And now all I have to do is serve it with the 1 ounce of cheese on top, and we're good to go. Friends, so here I am. I just finished the cheeseburger soup, lean and green meal. Here's some heavy breathing. My girls are coming to see what Dad's eating because they think they need to have something too. Yes, I'm talking about you, Mallory. So once again, it is ground beef, celery, onion, some parsley, salt and pepper, Worcestershire sauce, diced tomatoes, and spinach, and then you top it off with an ounce of cheese. So this is the first time I've ever made this. It's cold and gross. I say gross. It's not as gross right now as it was earlier today, but it's cold. So I'm just gonna stir this up, and I'm gonna get myself a big old spoonful here, and I'm gonna give it an honest to God taste right here on camera. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth to the point where I can't speak again. Because wouldn't that be terrible if you couldn't hear me talk? Don't answer that. Don't put that in the comments. Oh wow. Okay. Great flavor. Honest to God, pretty much tastes like a cheeseburger. Not gonna kid you. Very tasty. You don't taste the bitterness. Some people don't like the bitterness of spinach. You don't taste the bitterness of the spinach. You taste the cheese, you taste the burger, you taste a little bit of that Worcestershire sauce. It's great. Make this today. It is so easy. If you're interested, I'll send you the recipe. Just comment below and I will get it to you. So everybody, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.